Big trucks call for big parts.
23 Ram record. The problem is he wants a cool truck, but he still has to be able to use it.
That's gonna stay tricky, just depending on how crazy you want to get.
We definitely need to lift it. Make like a floating pile on. Set it apart from all the other records on the road for sure. 49 Ford is just an iconic truck. Woman came in and she wants to build this for her dad.
Right on.
Full show custom, that's what we want.
The engine trans, that's the parts they had. Everything else, we're gonna have to make. Now I'm nervous.
Holy.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
What's up, Ryan?
How you doing today?
Man, good, man. What's
Mark.
happening? Mark. Bill, nice to meet
Nice
you,
to meet you,
man.
man.
What y'all got going on today?
Mark just bought this 4500 Dodge from me with the 312 bed on it. Started talking about doing some customization to it. I said, man, it's gonna be a lot easier if we just go get extensified, so here we came to see you.
Cool, man. It's always good to see Ryan from RPM. RPM's where I get all my records from. Ryan's rolling up in a new truck with a new customer. He's always looking out.
So I'm gonna leave Mark in good hands with you. I'm gonna go in the office.
Cool.
Y'all take care.
Appreciate you, brother. So I anticipate this truck really being a showstopper, but also a workhorse. We do a lot of heavy-duty recovery, off-road recovery. So I need something that will work, that can take abuse, but still look good.
All right, man. I like that.
This truck is going to be a practical truck. It's going to be used daily, but I still want it to be custom. I love going to car shows, so I want the best of both worlds.
To fit the whole look of the truck, I mean, we definitely need to lift it, right?
Definitely.
You can't lift the truck way up out of the air and still be able to use it.
Still got to touch the ground.
There's only so much room, there's so much angle that you can kind of cheat on. That's gonna dictate what size wheels and tires, because you can't go too crazy high because you still got to make it function.
Yes, I have 24-inch wheels, and they have a powder coat that match.
Nice, all right, cool, cool, but no tires.
No tires.
Okay, so we can lift the truck and then we can figure out what size tires, probably like a 37, maybe even a 38-inch tire, or something like that. There might be quite a few custom parts have to be made to do something like this to still make it function.
I see why he brought me over here.
Hey man, but that's gonna be super cool.
Yeah.
You know, all the little things you do to this truck will pay off. If we're gonna lift it, man, it'd be real cool to put a big, aggressive new front bumper on it with maybe even a winch in it so you could still use that too.
I like that.
And if we're doing all that, we gotta color match the grill, you know, make it look
Get rid of the
cool.
chrome. The chrome's got to go.
Of course, getting rid of the running boards on this.
That's not cool, and it's going to get caught on something.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know you're gonna want a bunch of lights on it.
I want to be seen.
To go with the off-road theme, a roof rack on the top with all your emergency lights on,
that.
built in it would be real cool.
I mean, I want to light things up. My guys would be much more safe with lighting.
You know, now I'm getting excited. Man, this is the first thing. This just kills the whole look of the truck, this right here.
It's a big piece of the back of the truck.
Yeah. What we need to do is cover this diamond plate up with like that foam step material where you can still use it, but it would look really, really cool.
I like that. That'd look really clean.
It would look super clean, man.
And it'll hold up to elements really well as well.
Absolutely.
This truck, I'm gonna take all over the country to different tow shows. It's a rolling billboard. Like, we can have a cool truck represent your company and be an example, you know? I know I'm in good hands.
Let's go make it official.
Let's do it.
Some companies just change their logo to something a little more exciting, you know, wrapping the truck, changing the color, but that isn't gonna cut it. We're in Houston. There's probably more than 1 million tow trucks around here, but a cool tow truck like this is gonna be, that's something you never see. And it definitely has its challenges. The bottom line is this is a tow truck, so it still has to tow a car. So it's important on this to change enough things where it really looks like a cool custom truck. But you don't want to just go overboard and not be able to use it. You know, we're gonna check two boxes. We're gonna check function and we're gonna check custom. Finding that happy medium where you make a cool truck, but still being able to use it every day while looking good.
Well, that's the wrecker. What we got going on here?
Man, you know we like record trucks around here,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
But the problem is with this, he wants a cool truck, but he still has to be able to use it.
That's gonna stay tricky, just depending on how crazy you want to get.
That's why it's here.
Right up our alley.
Yeah. First things first is, let's get this on the lift. Let's pick it up at different heights. You know,
That's a good
actuate the
idea.
boom to see what's what on there. You can't go too high or it just,
Yeah.
Drag
it'll
it
hit
back
the
in
front
car.
bumper.
So we still gotta have it functional then with the lift.
Exactly. So we gotta have it low enough to be able to hook to a car and still be able to use it. But we still need to lift it to make it look cool.
Work truck, show truck.
Yeah.
Like it.
Then we're gonna do some cosmetic things. We're gonna take off the running boards, new front bumper, color match, all the chrome. Can't be having that. And back here, you know, this just looks,
Outdated.
it does, man.
Yeah.
So we clad it with sheet metal, and then we're able to stick the foam pad right to it, and we can bring some color down in this also.
It's gonna really tie it
Yeah.
together just doing that. That little,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
set it
Much
apart from
cleaner.
all the other wrecker beds.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be unique.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, the next thing is, you know, the wreckers have pylons on the back that usually
Yep.
put the emergency lights on it and they hold their tags and everything. I think what would be real cool on this, something I've never seen before, is build something off the roof rack and come down the back side of the cab and make it look like it's floating, like it attaches to the cab and not the bed, and color match all that. So it won't really look like a wrecker and just look like a cool truck.
Like an off-road recovery vehicle. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
Like how the chase trucks and Baja, like all
Exactly.
decked out.
A really
Yeah.
cool
Awesome.
truck
Yeah.
that just happens to be able to pull the car.
Yeah, dude, that would be super cool.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Got it? Liz? All right, let's get the lift arms underneath it and get it in the
All right.
You know, we're putting a lift on it, so we can't use none of this. So we're gonna go ahead and start disassembling the front end. Torch time. Drop down bracket, obviously not gonna work with our lift, so we'll go ahead and start cutting a portion of it off. Start scoring it on the weld. Start breaking it off.
We're giving this truck a 6-inch lift, but the factory link arms are too short to handle this height, so we're gonna make some longer ones.
That's it, man. We got the links on. We can go ahead and put our springs in, get it down on the ground, get the measurements we need, continue on. One little bump. All right, cool. It's about as far as I went.
We got our coil spacers in, got our coil springs, got our shocks in. Everything's looking good. Now we'll put some wheels and tires on the truck. Lower it down and see how our right eye looks. Woo!
All right, so we got it on the ground now. Kind of shifted it around, jumped on the suspension some. You can see it's a lot higher now than it was before. So when we get that right wheel and tire in here, it's gonna look great.
Big trucks call for big parts.
Sometimes the customer just wants their custom truck to look good. Other times, they need it to perform. The 23 Ram Wrecker, it needs to do both. Look good and carry heavy loads as a tow truck. So we're adding helper bags to keep it from bottoming out. And Jamie's installing the mounts for those right now.
Now that we got everything leveled and squared perfectly right here with our upper bag brackets, we got our plate mounted at the top. So next is go ahead and start making our gussets. You know, with all this weight, having an overload spring, there's gonna be a lot of pressure right here. So best thing is nice rigid piece of pipe, be welded to our bag bracket. That's gonna gusset this Bag mount very well. Once we put our side gussets on, it's not gonna move. We can put whatever we want to, whatever kind of load on this truck. These helper bags are gonna really do the job. I got my angle, I got my length. I'm gonna go ahead and cut 2 real quick. That's gonna be my lower helper bag mount. So that's gonna be the foundation for the back plate. Once I do that, I can weld them together, mock them up on the rear end, find center for the bag, tack weld them in, weld them out. Man, that's it. That's a helper bag kit right here. That's gonna handle plenty of load. Whatever this guy wants to haul, be able to adjust the suspension, keep this thing right and right.
Yeah, this is gonna be super cool. I got a call the other day from a customer with an old truck and some parts. I asked her to bring it all in so I could take a look.
Bill,
Hi.
Stephanie, hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So what we got here today?
This is my dad's 1949 Ford. My dad is legendary to me. He is a car enthusiast. He's a racing aficionado. He built a custom 49 Ford when he was 16. That truck is long gone. He acquired a new truck, and he's been thinking about rebuilding it, but he just hasn't pulled the trigger yet. So I'm here to make it happen.
Man, I love it. I love it. Has he had the truck for a while?
He's had it for maybe 2 decades or more. I'm not quite sure.
It looks like it's been sitting out in the field somewhere for a couple of decades.
It has.
You know, a 49 Ford is just an iconic truck, but this truck right here, I think, was an experiment on rust, you know, to see how long you can let it sit out in the field, to see how bad you can get it. We're at the end of that experiment, and the rust definitely won. So, does he know the truck's here?
He does not.
Oh, it's a total surprise,
Total
huh?
surprise.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So what you thinking here? Are we just getting it running? Here you go, Dad. Enjoy this patina. It runs good now, or are you
No.
wanting to just
No,
do
it needs to be a
it?
really cool truck. Full show custom. That's what we want.
Well, that's what we do around here.
I know. I'm excited.
On a project like this, what we do is get it in the shop and just start from the ground up. Just rip everything out, tear it all down to nothing. You know, seeing what's underneath all the paint. We'll blast all the parts to really see, you know, what's good, what's bad, and just start building back from there. Something like this, we just have to build a whole new chassis from front to back. And to get the stance right, we gotta put it on air suspension.
Absolutely. The
Right.
stance is important, maybe even a tilt towards the rear.
Yeah, well, that's totally up to you. That's
Yeah.
the cool thing about air suspension. You can adjust it higher, lower, front, and back, however you want to ride.
Front,
So
back.
that's definitely the way to go.
All right, sounds amazing.
Because Stephanie brought an independent rear suspension she wants us to use. We're gonna build a suspension setup that we don't usually do. We usually use a traditional straight axle, but in this setup, the rear wheels move independently from each other. It's gonna be pretty cool to incorporate the air suspension in with that. You know, judging by the outside of the truck,
I would think the inside looks perfect, right?
Maybe better.
I'm really hesitant of opening that door. Oh my God, something just flew in my eyeball, sorry.
No. Oh yeah, mine too. Dust particles, rust particles.
Well, that's about the only thing that's in here. Opening the door, seeing what's inside here, there's no interior. It's pretty much just a seat frame, that's about it. It's great for tear down, but John's gonna have to build everything from scratch. The interior needs just as much work as the outside, if not even a little more. New carpet, new headliner, you know, door panels, kick panels, bucket seats with the console down the middle. I mean, just having that custom feel when he sits in there. And of course, a stereo too when the daughter gets in and takes it for him. We'll get him hooked up. I see you got an engine in the back.
Yep.
Is this a pull-out out of a Mustang?
It is. 2020 Coyote.
Nice. That's absolutely perfect for this truck. With the right tune and everything, should probably put about 600
Ooh, yeah.
plus horsepower, so
Nice.
that'd be absolutely perfect.
My dad's a gearhead, so the faster the better.
I'm sure
right?
he's gonna love that.
Yeah.
Once we get the engine out of here, you know what'd be real cool on this? Instead of just putting like a bedwood kit or something like that in it, how about we make the bed floor raise up to expose
Yes.
all
the framework, the cool suspension.
Yes.
You know, to be able to show all that off, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Building a custom frame, most of the times you really can't see the craftsmanship. You can't see how much time is involved in building what we build. So raising that bed floor up doesn't get cooler than that.
You know, I hope one day my daughter would do this for me.
Hope so too.
This is gonna be a cool project. You know, this 49 Ford is just an iconic truck, but looking around it, there's a lot of bad on this. Most of the time, the problems are hidden underneath the paint or hidden underneath the carpet. You know, this truck, what you see is what you get. And what I'm seeing, I ain't one. Normally on a project like this, you talk with the customer. If there's no emotional attachment to it, they're quickly discouraged just to how much labor, how much work, how many parts go into something like this. But on the other hand, when it's been in the family for a while, you have that bond with you, your family member, and the car. That's when your emotions come into play, and that's what drives you to build something really cool with what you have to work with.
Tell us when, Jamie.
All right.
That right here.
You in here, Bill?
Over here.
We're recycling trucks now, or what?
Looks like it, right?
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, I've seen some better than this in the junkyard.
Seriously.
All right. These 49 Fords, you know, I know quite a bit about these trucks, and I grew up with one of these trucks. My dad still has his to this day. Know a lot about these, and I know it's a lot of work to put these together right.
But man, it's got a cool story though. Woman came in and she wants to build this for her dad so she can give it to him as a surprise.
Right on.
So I guess he bought this one somewhere along the way with intentions to fix it up. You know, one of these days I'm gonna get to it. One of these days, one of these days. Well, today's the day. She's done her homework too,
Really?
for sure. She knows she wants a 5.0 in it, wants a Coyote in it. So they took all this out of a Mustang. The engine, trans, rear suspension, you know, that's the parts they had. Everything else we're gonna have to make. You know, we're gonna start out by building a brand new chassis, front to back, with air suspension. And, you know, something I've never done before is build an independent rear suspension also.
That's gonna be cool.
Yeah. The advantage of independent rear suspension is it gives you a lot more stability over uneven surfaces. There's gonna be a lot of unique challenges to make this fit in this truck. I'm kind of excited about that for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, something new.
Once we have all that built, you know, we're gonna get all the body panels straight. And the body shop's got 1,000 hours for sure.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of sheet metal work to make this trans fit under there also in order to make it really, really low to the ground. And she wants to be able to show off the cool frame that we're gonna build. You already know what we gotta do on that.
Under the door.
Yeah, have the bed floor lift up so you can see everything in there.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the interior. John's got his work cut out for him for sure. Everything is beat up on this.
Every corner.
Truck's had a hard life.
Yeah, I guess we should just left all this outside and just brought the cab in and started over, right?
Well, I ain't got no daughter, but if I did, this sure would be a cool present, man.
Well, I got a daughter.
Cool.
I'll be able to cut these off with a cutoff wheel real quick.
All right, man, start on that. I'll start torching this bumper off. I'm gonna start tearing this old truck apart. It's rough, it's been sitting in the field, out in the weather. This kind of stuff's supposed to come apart easy, but you wouldn't believe how these rusted bolts hold it together.
Still something over here.
Wiggle it back and forth.
There we go.
A lot of bad metal in here we're going to have to replace. Is that the last of the rear?
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
Just cut two, like 3/4 square tube and 1/2 inch pipe, any like scrap. Just cut two pieces,
32?
28. We're starting on the frame for the 49 Ford, and we're gonna do this a little bit different. Get it square with this, and square here, and square. We're gonna start out with just the frame rails underneath the cab itself. Man, I like this table.
I love this table.
We're gonna build from the cab forward with the independent front suspension and then move to the back, because I don't really know how we're gonna do the back part. It's gonna be an independent rear suspension, something I've never built before. So once we figure out the rear suspension, we can take the back part of the frame and then build out around it. But first things first is just the two main rails, and we're gonna get them up underneath the truck and then go from there.
Let's go y'all's way. About 1 inch past these. That's good. Do one more check, make sure everything's square on the frame, then I'll get ready to start building my cab mounts. Just trying to make clearance for my mount right here, so I'm pulling my frame about 1 inch forward past this. All this radius is gonna change when we go to build our cross member. Okay, so I got my rear cab mounts here. You know, I'm gonna have a hole on one end to bolt through. Then we're gonna go ahead and cap the sides to make, you know, the strength for it. So I got my cab mount done now. It's in place. Once I get this tack welded up, I'm gonna do the same to the other three. Once that's done, the cab's gonna be mounted to the frame. Then we'll go ahead and move on to the front.
Now that we finished the lift on the 23 Ram Wrecker, we can get going on the roof rack. We're gonna start with a prefab roof rack and then customize off of it.
All right, we're gonna light this thing up. It's gonna be insane. We're gonna have lights all over.
We got 6 of these rigid lights we're gonna mount on the front of the roof rack. 4 bolts to install, and then you can adjust it. He's gonna be able to light up any scene he shows up to, do any off-roading tonight. It's gonna be a total game changer.
You know, something that's just every wrecker has to have is something to hold the emergency lights. You know, usually that comes in the form of a pylon in front of the wrecker bed. So what I want to do is come off the roof rack and make like a floating pylon so it holds the emergency lights. Man, why don't you go ahead and cut me 4 of these out of 16 gauge real quick, and then we'll just kind of go from there. You know, I kind of got an idea in my head, but kind of start taking shape once you get the parts made.
Okay.
And then kind of see where that takes it.
All right, here's your pieces.
Then we'll see how to attach it to the top, and then get back and kind of look at it, kind of see what needs to happen. So that is level with the bed.
Okay.
See that?
We're making a custom pylon off the roof rack for the 23 Ram Wrecker.
Okay, that's probably pretty good height. What I want to do is attach this to the roof rack itself. I want to, like a floating pylon, right? So what I want to do is make just a line of the cab here and then curving down over. You know, something just with a little radius to it.
16 brakes. All righty. Well, let's go give her hell. We're getting there.
That looks pretty good.
There's no set way, okay, I'm gonna build this like this. Everything changes. You gotta adapt all along the way. I've never seen one like this before. I've never done one of these like this before.
And that does like match the cab really well.
So we're just kind of, you know, using what we know and just keep adapting. And before you know it, you got a cool little finished piece, but there's a lot of things you got to figure out and adapt to all along the way.
Money out! Something!
You know, with building this floating rack here, we're not gonna have anything that attaches to the bed. So there's not gonna be anything holding the back of it from flopping around. So we're gonna attach some mounts to the back of the cab so you won't really see it, but it'll have that extra support of holding it, you know, to the cab itself.
Yeah.
It's gonna look pretty cool. You know, it won't have that traditional connection to the bed. So it'll set it apart from all the other records on the road for sure.
I gotta find some tools.
While we're finishing up the metal work on the 23 Ram, Patrick's gonna color match all the chrome and badges. You know, it's not the type of thing you notice right off the bat, but with everything else we're doing, it's gonna give this thing a subtle custom look.
What I have right here is the badge for the Ram tow truck. Customer wants everything chrome painted to match the truck. There's an easy way and a right way, but here at Extensive, we're gonna do it the custom way. All you need is a normal little lighter. You don't want to get it too hot. You just want to heat it up enough to where the badge actually wants to just come off. We basically have to heat up all of the plastic terminals on here to remove the badges. We did not damage the points to put them back in, because we definitely have to heat these back up once we replace them. Just scuff it up. First step in this paint job is the sealer. No matter whether it's chrome or plastic or metal even, once you spray this over it, it will give you a uniform coat. So once you come back with the blue, everything blends. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this mix started. It's called Hydro Blue. There's like 8 different toners in it to make the color. So we can go ahead and get that popping. All right, flash time. My goodness. About to pass out in there. Oh, by it being 111 degrees here, it was only taking 5 minutes of flash time. Let's get in the hot box and get cleared. Man, I got sweat running down my legs, dude. Now, I turn the oven on, let it bake for 45 minutes, maybe an hour, on to the truck.
Y'all ready to put this front clip on?
Get on that side.
Pretty center.
So my man Dustin here, he's gonna help me out today.
Yeah.
So, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna do a good job today?
I'm gonna do a good job.
If we can get all this in today, then I can say yeah.
Then I gotta
give you a pat on the back and say good job, Dustin.
Maybe even a gold star.
Hold up. All right.
We won't know for sure on the 49 Ford how bad the body is till it gets back from blast. But we know the Coyote engine's gonna put a lot of power down, so it's gonna need a brand new custom frame.
Hold the aluminum, just bump it. All right. We're gonna build this frame in 3 sections. We built the middle part of the frame on the table to get up underneath the cab, to get everything nice and square, everything centered on the cab itself. So now we're gonna build the front part of the frame. Because every vehicle's a little different. There's a lot of room for error. If you take a bunch of measurements and then build it on the table, yes, you can do it, but the likelihood of mismeasuring somewhere along the way is very high. So to be able to build it to the vehicle, just more efficient that way. No room for error.
You already got this side cut? After you get them both cut, bring them in here real quick.
All right. We're gonna do a little something.
All right.
Just using a little square right here because we're taking this piece of 2x4 rectangle tubing and we're making it fit on the frame from a 2x4 to a 2x3. So the piece has to be tapered down. It's a short piece, so it'll fit in the bandsaw, but there's no way to clamp it. So I'm just tacking a couple pieces of 2x2 tubing on it, nice and square, so we can throw it in the saw and just cut it all at one time. We got a super efficient way to cut these shorter lines. I'm gonna go slow, that way they don't walk. We got our 2x4 all cut down to a 2x4. Gonna fit on this side up to a 2x3 at a slight angle, so it should fit if Dustin did his job right.
Of course. Why? Oh, yeah.
Hit it in the corner right here. Yep. 10 3/4.
You know, we're in a really good spot on this 49 Ford. We got the middle part of the frame all built, and now we have the front part of the frame all mocked up. So that's it, man. I mean, that is 100% on the front. Then we can move to the back.
She's about to go. How much more you got left?
It's this last clamp and then we're ready.
A 49 Ford truck is a classic,
Throw it down.
but we're still talking about a 70-year-old truck.
Let's boogie it in there. All right, pick it up some.
This Coyote engine and trans takes up way more space
Stop.
than the original engine did back in 1949. So as usual, we got to make more room.
All right. Before, obviously, the floor was bad. I mean, you could see through it. So obviously, we had to change that out. So I went ahead and made some pieces real quick. Bead rolled them, tied them in, made sure they're both the same height. I mean, everything's true right now. So the next step is go ahead and make my kickers, where your feet rest up right before the firewall. Get them trimmed a bit. I'll go ahead and tack them into our floor pieces. Once I get these two panels done, I'll kind of know the shape of my transmission tunnel right here. So I'm trying to make everything even. Then I'll go ahead and start cutting out my firewall and make that thing beautiful. What are you thinking about, like a design, just the border and then inside the border reversed it? We'll lay it out on the table.
Man, we've done a ton of work to this whole cab so far. You know, got the floor replaced, transmission tunnel in. You know, the last part is replacing the firewall, which, I mean, we could just weld the holes up, but we want to give it a little bit more style than that. So I want to cut the whole firewall all out, replace it with some 20 gauge, put some bead rolls in it. You know, give it something to look at when you pop the hood.
I'm about to cut this firewall out, but one thing I want to save is the original VIN tag on this. So got to be careful, because this right here identifies this cab of the truck. Origin, date, everything is with this. We need to safely take it off so we can put it back on the truck later.
It's looking good. We got our majority out of the way. You know, next step's making a pattern, transferring that over to metal. We'll have all that rough cut, do some bead rolling, fold the edges, and put that back in place.
Now I'm nervous. I've got a lot of time invested in this one piece, and it's gonna be a focal point in the truck as soon as you pop the hood. So if I mess this up, I gotta start all over again.
There we go.
When I see a truck looking rusty and as beat up as this 49 Ford, I definitely know we got our work cut out for us. Now that the firewall is done, we got the cab pretty much as far as we can take it. Now we're gonna send it off to blast to see exactly how bad it is. Once it's back, we can get back to building that frame and suspension. From a custom bed, interior, wheels, tires, man, this thing is getting the works. But the nice part about having a busy shop, even though we're just getting started on the beginning of this project, we're just about done with the 23 Ram.
All right, Dustin, see how that fits up there now.
All right. We're going right here, right?
Correct. So we're gonna start doing this cladding right here. You know, this diamond plate, it's kind of outdated. Everybody's got it, and we don't want something everybody else got. We want something fresh, something new, something nice. So we're gonna go ahead and clad this. We're gonna make a pattern with this chipboard exactly to form all this diamond plate right here. They're gonna put the foam on top of it, then we're gonna fasten it to the bed. It's gonna look slick. Yeah, I'm good with that.
So on this piece, we got some brakes in it. Just so, we're gonna transfer that to our sheet metal, go to the press brake, break it, go to the bed, make sure it fits. All's good.
Now that the cladding is made, we had it scanned to turn into a 3D model for the custom foam overlay. This will make it look really cool and also give it a little design and grip.
Way back in '94 when I started, it was just, taking a passion for what I like doing, working on cars, taking the skill that I learned from my dad, welding and fabricating, and combining those two and just creating and creating and creating and just seeing what comes about. When you have a passion for something, you're not set in your ways. You're always trying to outdo yourself. A lot of builds over the years are just, man, you can't do anything else to it. Everything's been done, but there's always room for improvement. Once you've built a car, you can always go back and go, oh man, next time I'm gonna do this, or I can't wait till we do another one of these. That way I can approach it a different way. That's what drives everybody around here. Having the creativity, having the skill set, combining those, and trying to outdo the next guy and outdo our last builds.
You got the bottom side in?
No, I don't have the bottom side. You want to do bottom side first?
Man, maybe honestly just get the bottom started, and
Okay.
I'm gonna come down with the lift.
It's always cool to get something in the shop that's not run-of-the-mill, not ordinary.
Tight?
Yeah, that's tight.
The 23 Ram is all about still being a work truck, but it's gotta look cool and custom. And we did just that. We went with some big 37-inch tires, aggressive new front bumper, new side steps.
The truck means business. It's not only a cool custom truck, it's ready to go to work. Today we're out in Missouri City at the Texas Wake and Scrape Car Show. It's a community of just custom cars all coming together and just showing what they got. This is the perfect place to give old Mark his truck back. It's gonna fit right in around here with all the custom trucks.
So Bill called me and told me to come out to Missouri City today for Wake and Scrape. Said he had a surprise.
Mark, what's happening,
What's
man?
going on, man? How are you?
Man, I'm doing good, man. You about to be doing a little better, too.
Man, I'm ready. I'm ready. Is it here?
It is here.
No
I'm ready
way.
for you to check it out, man.
Man, let's go.
You came in with the plain Jane, and now your truck definitely, it fits in at a car show perfully.
Playing with my emotions, man. Come on.
We got you hooked up, man.
Let's go.
I know you're ready.
I'm
for that
ready.
one.
I'm ready. Holy. That's the truck? Ooh, man, wow. Dang, that
ain't no stock record no more.
No, it's not. Everyone's gonna see that truck. I couldn't believe that was the same truck that I had dropped off.
So the first thing you see is that big stance when you're walking up to it. When this thing's coming down the road at you, people are gonna take notice for sure.
Get out the way.
So it's a 6-inch lift on it, you know, new 4-link, color matched everything underneath.
It's clean.
And not just color matching the suspension, you know, we got rid of all the chrome on the front, replaced that old factory front bumper with that new heavy duty. It's 1/4 inch thick, you know, it's definitely not just for looks.
No, that'll work.
It's made to work.
And that bumper's gonna hold up to that winch for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, the truck's got some height to it now.
Right.
So in order to get that angle of approach, you know, a little bit lower, it has air suspension on the back.
So it'll drop down and I can still get under a car.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We knew you're gonna still use this truck and work it,
Yeah.
so we know that's a must.
That 6-inch lift on that truck really sets that truck up. It stands out. It's gonna represent me and my company very well. We're gonna be noticed definitely out on the streets. Man, look at these lights. I mean, they're endless.
There's lights everywhere. It's an off-road theme, right? So we didn't want to just put a pylon on the back and put a bunch of lights on it like every other truck on the road.
Right, right.
So we made a custom pylon that bolts to the cab. It pretty much incorporates into the roof rack and comes down and attaches to the back of the cab.
So it's floating.
It kind of floats.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, I've never seen that before, and I thought it'd be really cool.
We're gonna light up the world with that. I mean,
Yeah,
my guys are gonna
absolutely.
be able to see what they're doing for sure.
Man, you did a great job picking those wheels too, man. The 24x12s, we put 37s on it.
Wow.
That's unheard of on
37s
a tow
on
truck.
a tow truck? I mean, that's bigger than my heavy duty tires.
Right.
I mean,
we were gonna put retractable steps on it, but
Right.
that really wouldn't work.
they fit just perfect. They go with the suspension and the rack, it just ties it all together. It looks like a monster truck tow truck. I mean,
It fits in amongst show cars around here.
yeah. He thought this through. He knew that I needed this truck to work. It still needed to be practical, but we were going for the show look. He killed it.
And you know, we gotta customize it from the front to the back. Made some panels to go over the bed that we could stick Pro Deck to it. You never see
Wow.
this on a tow truck, right?
Seen on anything but a boat.
Yeah, it just really, really wakes it up, right? It's different from everybody else's.
Oh, yeah, yeah, and it just lays over.
It lays right
Man,
on top.
that is
sticks
amazing.
right to the panels that we made, and we bolted them right down over the top of it because you
Wow.
couldn't stick it to the diamond plate.
Never
right?
seen anything like that, especially on a tow truck. I mean,
Right.
that's next level right there. All in all, I came into this with a vision. Everything that I expected was surpassed. You know, I wanted something that stood out. I wanted something that was the wow factor, but it's got to pay for itself. It's got to work. And this is how I
Absolutely.
make my money.
You got to pay yourself back on this, right?
Definitely, definitely.
As always, it's not a one-man band. It takes everybody in the shop using every one of their skills, from the guy sweeping to the best fabricator we got. It takes a whole team. Thank you very much, and I can't wait for the next one. Well, man, let's go check out the show.
Man, I'm ready to go tow some cars.
Well, maybe we'll find a legal car parked somewhere so you
Let's
can get
do
to
it.
work.
Let's do it.